number three. If you can go to the next, click the
Sure.
next one, please. Um, what it really did is there's an automatic triage that we provide in terms of which helps you to spot what are the priority tickets and how you do it. So where Khan Academy has done it actually, if you're an existing customer and if you have an open request that is coming in, you know how to navigate through, so they're directing them to use self-service because you're known to our economy, our app and stuff like that. But if you're a new customer, they're right away go ahead and handle them as a priority, because not just for market acquisition, but because they do not have a familiarity, and if you don't take care of them, give them a care, they would be going anywhere. And that's what automated trials that Khan Academy really did it. Second, really being successful and giving a scale, and I can't emphasize more, is self-service. Again, if you look at Khan Academy and look at the self-service ratio, for every 38 to 40 requests that is coming and looking at a self-service and finding information, only one out of the request actually raised a support ticket. That means 98 to 99% of the times the customers are able to get what they need because they have a very robust self-service. And again, Zendesk really had a great product there called Guide. It really provides superior knowledge management. I think very intelligent, powered by AI and artificial intelligence and machine learning, which provides patterns and stuff like that and helps solve a lot of problems for yourself. But not just that, we also have artificial intelligence powered bot, which sits on top of knowledge base, and it surfaces the question answer to the question that customer is having. So it tries to take the first hit, if you want to call it as, from an agent perspective. So customers can ask a number of questions, the bot will provide answers. If bot cannot answer, it'll go to a human agent and solve. So it gives you scalability of the business. Third, collaboration, because when you have so many tickets and I'm sure so many interactions, not everything can be solved by your support agents who are taking calls or responding emails or responding to social media tickets. But how we integrate our technology, I think Rohit touched upon a bit of this, and I'll just touch upon a couple of these things. You can natively integrate Zendesk to a Slack channel. So if you're a Slack user, and you can create Zendesk ticket just sitting in Slack itself, or vice versa. If you are sitting in Zendesk and if you're using a Slack for, let's say, your finance team on a Slack channel, within sitting in Zendesk, you can really open up an interaction on to your finance team sitting in a Slack and ask them, hey, Tanu was requesting as a customer requesting for this refund, where is it in the process? And they come back, respond on Slack, and it comes back within straight away in Zendesk. And that's the level of interaction and integration that we're talking about, really tight knitted, and bringing every other teams to help solve a customer query. What it does, it gives you great customer satisfaction. Look at, with all that volume that Khan Academy had, 92% of CSAT it delivered, even the volume tripled and doubled and multifold. And having a great technology can really solve scale problems. But remember your core principles, and having that first one, automated triage, it is a Khan Academy business principle. We were just a technology enabler. But having those business principles are very important, and where you want to put what technology is a secret sauce of how you want to drive a great CX. Rohit, would you want to add any thoughts?
It's a brilliant case study, Katie,
Yeah.
that you spoke about. And I must say, this actually has another added advantage as well. When you are looking at, see, data is power. So when you're looking at the same question, which is being answered or which is being asked a number of times, one, it allows you, the machine learning or AI, to learn it and then give the right answer to the customer. But then at the same time, it helps you as the brand owner, as the software provider, and in this case, Khan Academy, I'm sure, have considered this and used this as well. It allows you to improve your own product or service. To say, you know what, if customers are asking this all the time, that means we haven't explained this properly, or the interface is not right. So let's go and fix that. So it has double advantage. It has like multiple advantages. If you look at, the number of queries, you look at the trends of questions which are being asked or the problems which are being faced by customers.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And that was definitely a very impressive case study. Those numbers kind of speak for themselves. Rohit, any other input? We worked with so many other business automation tools, and any thoughts on how technology has impacted various businesses that we worked with?
See, in most of the cases, in almost all the cases, technology has always put a positive spin on things, and particularly in today's day and age, because yes, we are bound by technology. How and
Mm-hmm.
why we are able to talk to all of you people, those who have attended the webinar, thank you, is because technology is there, is because technology has enabled the organization, ourselves, yourselves, to be able to talk to us. At one stage, working remotely was considered a taboo, a big question
Yes,
mark for a lot of organizations,
very true.
non-technical and non-technical, those even in software development and IT and all of them, even they had issues. We can't let people work from home. But today, you look at the scenario, conventional industries are also working remotely because they have to. I think, and I keep a positive spin on life. I think to a certain extent, there is a silver lining in COVID-19 as well. It is going to bring us multiple folds ahead of life as well, of evolution of technology and evolution of human brain. It is going to throw us multiple folds ahead, multiple leaps ahead. So that's what I would say. I think in general, technology always enables people, educates
Yeah.
people, gives them another way of achieving what they want to achieve in life.
Yeah, Tanu, if you're okay, I'll add a couple of those things. I
Sure.
think, 100% agree with Rohit. And usually this is very common asked question that's been asked to me. Hey, we invested in this great technology. We spent $1 million, but it didn't give me anything. And this is the common problem I'm sure Rohit and his team has solved many, many times, Rohit. And it's also being in the industry for over 23, 24 years. And I get this question all the time. I think technology plays its only part.
Hmm.
Remember, people who put to technology to use and where to use it is the secret of success. Now, let me give you two examples. Now, if you were talking about a typical banking example, which I talked, or which is a great example, all of us can connect to it. What if I put a AI-powered bot to solve lost credit card inquiry? So my credit card has been lost. I
Yeah.
want to report, and you force me to talk to a bot, and bot tells me that give me your credit card information. Damn it, I don't remember 16 digit.
Hmm.
I just don't remember it. Do you expect me
Mm.
to remember? No, I don't. But I think you have a technology which is bought, which is fantastic, but you're putting it to a wrong business case, which is a use case of credit card loss. But what if I put the same bot technology for inquiry, like hey bank, Mr. Bank, and what time to what time your work today? What's your working hours? Yeah, you don't need a human being to answer the query. A bot
Hmm.
can answer the query.
Hmm.
It is putting technology to the right use case. It is where is the secret recipe. It is not about investing millions. It's about investing technology where it really matters for customer. I think
Mm.
if you can keep these two in mind, and remember, do not make a technology to be a barrier for engaging with customers.
Yeah.
Have that as an enabler to really really drive a great CX.
And if somebody really wants to make a phone call, please let them do that
Please
as
let them
well.
Sure.
exactly.
Yeah, sometimes, you just want to vent out. You just want to talk to
I
someone. So
just want to
yeah,
talk to somebody. Please put me through.
that's true. Very well said, Katie. I think yeah, that's you got to be smart with implementing technology as well. So I'm going to stick with you and extend this question. So we are sold on the idea that it is very very useful, but it also comes at a cost. Right, and the cost is not just monetary, but it's also kind of getting the entire organization to move from probably a traditional way of working to a digital way of working. So any kind of case studies or data, or from your experience of working with different businesses, of what is the ROI of investing in kind of robust CR system?
And just Katie,
So
before you answer that, a request to everybody, please, we have a Q&A open as well. So please post your questions
Absolutely.
there. We would love to answer your questions as well. These questions that Tanushree has put together, these are all thought-provoking. I am hoping that these are actually making you think of some questions, and you should be asking some of them as well. So please put them in the Q&A box, and we would love to answer them later on. Sorry,
Absolutely.
Katie.
Yeah.
Go
So
on.
this is kind of the last of our set. So immediately after this, we are going to have a live Q&A. So please keep your notes handy. We're going to take that up.
Brilliant. See, everybody gives a different flavor for on a ROI, but remember the real ROI is in revenue. You implement anything because it's a bit of phenomenon. We are all here to serve a customer, and the intention of serving a customer that this customer will actually pay some dollars and some revenue to us, and that will keep feeding us the business, and then we can sell more products and services and make more customers happy during the entire process of engaging. And then it's a phenomenon that you go through. But I would say, look at the return on investment on 2-3 angles. One, the technology should be simple to implement. It cannot take months and years to implement. It got to be a short. Its time to value is very, very important. Second, when you're looking at picking up a technology to buy, look at, can you start small? Can you start small and grow? How quickly scalable? Let's say you're probably about 10, 1,500 people probably today in helping customers, or maybe working in helping one geography. What if you have to do a global plans? And when you grow exponentially, do you need to change the software? Is software going to limit you? A very important flavor when you pick up a software. Third, very, very importantly, listen to your customers. At the same time, listen to your employees. Employees who actually serve your customers, there are two ways you can listen in. And this is a very common thing that I would hear, and I can quote to you. If I'm ever on a phone line or any other ways of engaging with my business that I'm doing a business with a organization, if they tell me that, what, Katie, can I put you on a hold for a few seconds while I look up information? Damn, you have a clunky CRM at the back. You're flipping screens and finding information, right? Remember, that could actually dissatisfy your customer, because when your customers have one bad experience, there is a great stat: 81% of the customers will deflect to your competition or to other brand if they have one or two bad experiences.
That's a lot.
And it is. And go back and look for yourself and ask yourself that question. And it happens to me. And this is where, Rohit, I'll say, it doesn't matter whether you're millennial, whether you're Gen Z, you're a baby boomer. One bad experience, you're already at a deflection. Your customer is going up. Second, there's no way that customer is going to go back and come back to you. Probably. And third one, if at all the customer is going to be there with you, if at all, they will go and evangelize so badly about your brand. Like Tanu said, maybe go on Twitter and drag about how bad experience. Remember, these experiences are very, very important, and one bad experience can count a lot of it. So ensuring that you listen to your employees to understand what the customer wants and what is it taking for employees to solve a customer problem, which we call first touch time, resolution times are very, very important. Look at what is the industry average and what this tool can actually give to you. Very important. And if you can just go look at it, and if you want a little bit of more data view, so we have a what we call an independent company who came and did a ROI calculator. It's a return on investment calculator. And how do you get that? We're going to share a link to you. You can actually go through the link. It's going to ask you a few questions, of course, about your current state of business. And if you are ready, and if you think that if you invest in omnichannel software, is there a ROI, and what is the time frame to get that? It'll all throw in that data, because remember, there are a ton of research companies have done it, and Zendesk, again, focusing on CRM and service. We have invested into this ROI calculator, which can come very handy for you. I think, Rohit, would you want to add?
No, I think that's perfect. Now, again, ROI, return on investment. And how do you define return? I always say there is tangible and intangible. If the investment in technology has actually made your employees happy as well, that's a return. It's intangible. Katie, I fully agree. Of course, it shows up in dollars, euros, and rupees as well. Fully, But yes, it shows up in the revenue of the company. It shows up in the satisfaction of employees, satisfaction of customers, ratings by your customers, how happy your customers are now at this stage. Of course, Revenue will come and it'll show up in your balance sheet, it'll show up in your profit and loss account. But the satisfaction of the customer may not show up immediately, but it'll show up over time. You will see how that impact actually grows your brand further, and that brings in more customers, that brings in more happier customers who then invest, spend money with your brand and increase the turnover further. So yeah, you've covered it very well.
Yeah. And also, I feel, when we're talking about investing, it's also investing in the right partner. So, of course, there's the right product, but when we're talking, and maybe Rohit, you can add some points here. When I read the stat recently that businesses anywhere between 30 to 70% of the time say that the CRM software didn't work. So maybe the product was good, but there's so much more to it. There's, you got to migrate data, you've got to train the employees. And that's where, sometimes you need an implementation partner to kind of ensure that you get that return on investment. Rohit, any points here?
Well, to be honest, I will be cautious when I say this. Of course, we work with quite a number of software companies in that regard, but yes, you have to pick and choose correctly. It's not one size fits all. It's not one tool fits all. You can't bring a hammer to a jewelry company and say, look, this is a perfect tool for you. While yes, that hammer is a hammer which breaks rocks. You'll have to be careful. And that's where a partner comes in picture. So the selection of the software generally, can only be done properly. And this is my view, of course, Katie, jump in if you want to, but this can only be done by an independent provider. Somebody who stands outside the company, looks at your business, reviews your business. We call it a discovery phase. We go into the organization, we review the business and then say, look, pick a tool. But having said that, when it comes to customer experience, customer service, we know, and that's the reason we are standing by Zendesk, is there is no other tool which can actually, be the perfect customer experience provider and omni-channel other than Zendesk. If you look at any sort of, and of course, some of these things are very visible. AI, chatbots, WhatsApp integration. I mean, there is a full feature list available on our website as well as Zendesk's website as well. But I would still say, come talk to us. We would like to sit down with you, discuss your requirements, and then suggest which one will be the best thing. I think we do, it'll be good to have a proof of concept as well. We get you on a trial, we bring in some of the support queries through Zendesk, and then show you how Zendesk can actually fulfill all of your needs and can look after your customers much better than any of the existing tools that you have.
Yeah, absolutely, Rohit. Tanu, I'll only state one statement. There's never a wrong problem. There's never a wrong tool.
Yeah.
You just need to have a right person and right processes and applying it the right tool to solve a right problem. It's like, if you remember the bit of puzzle that we solve and match those things, it is that bringing that right thing. It's having a right technology partner, solving the right problem. I think, target integration for us has been that individual independent view and see whether Zendesk can really solve the problem. We think we can, but maybe customer can also think that we can, but there's no better way to have somebody like, target integration really come in and do a discovery and see with the right fit, what is the value that we bring to the table, what's the ROI probably we can together deliver to the customer on solving that problem.
I'm conscious of time, and there is a question which has come in from Michael. Is it possible to evaluate specific CRM software application before adopting it? So Michael, I think we have addressed that in literally last few seconds, where yes, we would love to have a chat with you. So somebody from our marketing team, sales team will be in touch to have a conversation with you to understand what are your needs. And then, yes, I think, Zendesk trial will be a good starting point where you can see it in action. There's nothing better than, as they say, you taste it. You go to a sweets shop and you want to taste it. You go to a chocolatier and you want to taste it and then say, yes, that's the one I want to buy. So I think that a trial will be a good starting point, and we would love to have this for you. Anybody else, any questions, please send them across. We would love to answer them for you as well. Tanushree, how are we doing with other questions? Yeah.
Yeah, so, the chat box is kind of empty. So I hope that either you guys were so fantastic. Yeah, I think the whole session was so comprehensive that everyone's kind of clear. But at the same time, okay, I see another question here. As an organization management, what are your thoughts on prioritizing and maintaining the balance between the employees and the customers to achieve the end results for the organization. Wow. I think if I understand your question rightly, I think it's on the similar lines of how to bring everyone together on the same page and bridge that gap between employees and customers. Um, Rohit,
Prioritizing and maintaining the balance between the employees and the customers to achieve the end results of the organization. Again, this balance shows up. You have happy customers, you have happy employees. Those happy employees, see, it shows up. I always say, and this is, of course, comes from traditional support channels, phone calls. Your phone call, when you're talking to a person, even when you're not looking at that person, your smile shows up on a conventional telephone call. Everybody has heard this phrase, your smile shows up even when the person cannot see you, because it's in your voice. Same thing applies when you have happy customers. They will be very inclined to kind of putting in a little joke or answering something in a kind of nice smiley fashion and put a smiley at the end. Expressions cannot travel in written communication. So the only way, and that's the reason smileys were invented, all the GIFs were later on invented as well. But yes, if you have happy employees, they will have a happier way of answering queries. They will have a positive spin on things. They will provide that customer experience. Don't forget, while we are a big evangelist of AI, while we promote AI all the time, you cannot replace, and Katie said that earlier as well, you cannot replace that personal touch. So yes, having the right team, right employees who are happy in the organization, who are able to find the queries as well. Think about it. If that Slack integration wasn't there, we spoke about Khan Academy earlier. If that Slack integration wasn't there, I will be then talking to my accounts team. Hey, can you answer this? I go into their room probably because I don't have Slack, or I pick up the phone and talk to them. And they're sitting and working from home. And then they go, oh, I have that invoice sitting in a folder in the office and I don't have access to the office. Again, think about it. It's digital transformation, bringing that whole technology into the organization. It can't be one fix. It will be a fix, first of all, in your thinking, and then later on going into the organization. And that will bring happy employees, happy customers. Too long of an answer.
No, but it does make perfect sense. Katie, would you like to add anything here?
No, I think it's cements. I strongly believe that happy employees are happy customers, and if somebody doesn't believe, please do invest into your employees. And the way to do it is also there is a very clear path. And remember, the people who talk to our customers day in day out are the ones who are actually talking to them. It's not probably the CEO who's sitting and handling customer queries every day. The way you create an employee-centric culture. I generally advocate most businesses that I speak to and advise them and say, hey, irrespective of what your role is, irrespective of what function that you follow, just do a role of a customer support agent a day, one day in a month, one day in a quarter, one day in a year, doesn't matter. If Jeff Bezos in Amazon can do it and will continues to do it, I don't see any reason why we can't do it. And that's a way Amazon continues to be a customer-centric company. Because they know the pulse of it. Then you will not hear finance team telling, you know what, I can't do this for customer. The finance team sat and solved customer problems. They understand the pain of the customer. They empathize with you. Then everybody comes along. Again, tool collaboration like Slack and other things will give you enablement. But remember some of these common principles of everyone in the organization, irrespective of a role, play a job of customer support agent.
Definitely.
I think that's a golden piece of advice and a great parting note as well. I see we are right on time, so I'm going to leave us with that. These are the Rohit, you want to say something?
Yeah, just another question has come in from Chetan. I think Chetan, what we'll do is we'll quickly answer that and then probably have a one-to-one with you. How do you address SMEs' needs where their demands do not match with their budget and still wants to have CX? I mean, to be honest, nothing is kind of, cost effective when it comes to Zendesk or anything like that. So I don't know if the budget is a constraint ever, Chetan. I think what we'll do, Chetan, is we can probably answer this and we'll wrap up here. But yes, budget should not be a constraint in general in today's SaaS world.
Rohit, if you don't mind, and Chetan, please. Here is what I would advise. So talk to Rohit and his team, and they can tell you what our team can tell you. when you ask for a budget, people don't even ask a question because you're going to show the returns on investment on this technology. The proof is in the pudding. The question number 5 that Tanu has put in, ROI. If you can actually take that ROI and go back to your business and your finance team and say, here is what I'm going to do, here is the returns I'm going to show.
Yeah.
This
won't be a question.
Friction point is gone.
That's it. Thank you all.
Yes. Thank you so much. I believe we might have some more questions later. We're going to be sharing this webinar recording with all our attendees and even the ones who couldn't join. Rohit and Katie, I'm sure will be happy to take on the questions even after the webinar. You can contact us on, these are the website links, so you can always drop in an email. We are also, quite available around the clock for your support. But thank you, Rohit and Katie, so very much. It was a wonderful session, great insights, and I'm sure our all the participants took away a lot of the food for thought. And I'm sure it's going to really help all the businesses to kind of think more deeply about how they can implement the right customer experience strategy. And amidst all the Corona chaos that we are in, the right strategy and the right mindset can still ensure that businesses continue to thrive, centering around the customer experience. Thank you very much. Thank you all the participants for joining in today and attending the webinar. Please take care and stay safe. We have a lot of other interesting webinars planned for all of you, so do stay tuned. Thank you, Katie, Rohit, once again.
Thank you, Tanushree, for putting it together. Take care, guys. Katie, speak to you later.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Have a good one.